Hello everyone, hi! So, this is my 6th week of learning Norwegian and I'm pretty excited to be making this video and to just document a little bit what I'm doing in a week to learn this new language. I'm having 6 hours a week of lessons at university, so doing this language course is part of my degree. I study comparative literature and part of my degree is that I have to learn a foreign language that is not German, English or Latin because those are prerequisites. But other than that, I could have chosen basically any language as long as it's offered. You know, some colleagues are taking Russian or Japanese or whatever. And I'm learning Norwegian. I'm gonna talk a little bit later about the reasons why I chose this language. But today's Tuesday and I have a lesson again tomorrow and I still have quite some homework to do, so I'm just gonna show you what it is that I'm learning today. And just before we get into me showing you my homework, maybe you know that when you learn a language, there is 4 skills that you can acquire. There's the skill of actually speaking a language, the skill of understanding a language when you hear it, the skill of writing in a language, and the skill of reading in a language. And to have a well-rounded command of any language, it is good to practice all 4 of those. So I'm trying throughout the week to incorporate all 4 of these skills. I try to mix it up and I hope you'll get a sense of that in this video. Yeah, so we've recently learned colors. Let me show you. Yeah, here they are. So the first row, for example, is grønn, rød, gull, blå. This is a notebook I got in which I wrote all the vocabularies that we have worked on so far. I took some time in Easter vacation to do that. And then on the back, I have all the grammar rules as far as I understand them. And we usually have a text like this one that we go through in class. And today I have to do that for a couple of chapters. I have to look up all the vocabularies and do all the workbook exercises. It takes quite a long time actually. So this chapter is about living together in an apartment. And for example, the sentence Melissa liker å ha mange grønne planter og hun flink til å stelle dem means Melissa likes to have a lot of green plants and she's really good at taking care of them.
Han kommer fra Oslo.
Men hun kommer fra Hønefoss.
Så hyggelig. Jeg kommer også fra Hønefoss.
Ja vel?
The substantive, I really have to practice that a lot because they basically put the article of a of a word at the end. So this means en bil means a car and bilen means the car. So I don't know, they kind of say car the. I find that somewhat confusing, takes a little bit of time to get used to. Okay, I'm on my way to uni. I have a lecture and a course this morning, and then I have a break in which I'll go to the library and finish my Norwegian homework because I didn't finish it yesterday, so I'll see you there.
Och kopplas tillbaka. Ja. Christian är ju en väldigt obehaglig person. Han har ju dykt upp tidigare i Tredje riket och i Morgonstjärnan.
With my homework. Now I'm off to the first big lesson block. 3 hours of Norwegian. Let's go.
2 deciliter honning og 1 til 2 appelsiner. Med kaviar? Å nei, men egg og bacon er godt.
Vil du ha et knekkebrød?
Nei, det er ikke noe for meg. Men en brødskive med skinke er godt.
Åh, de har bare brunost og syltetøy i kjøleskapet.
So it's Thursday today and I spent all morning doing homework. The homework just never ends. I'm about to head out the door to go to my second block of Norwegian lessons for this week. It's going to be another 3 hours. And yeah, I thought I would quickly talk about why I'm even learning Norwegian, because I get some questions about that. People are like, of all the languages you can learn, why would you learn Norwegian? And there are a few reasons for that. I think the most important one is that I've always felt a kinship with the country of Norway. I always wanted to go there. As long as I can remember, I always said I want to go to Norway, and I didn't even know whether I was going to like it. And I remember when I actually went there for the first time, I stepped off the boat and I just had this feeling of, I'm home. You know, there was like such a relaxation in my body and this feeling of like, you've arrived, you're here, it's fine. And I get that every time I'm in Norway. I want to stay. It almost brings tears in my eyes. And I can't explain it. You know, that's something I cannot explain. But being in Norway and talking to people and getting to know people, that only confirmed my love for the country. I love how Norwegians are just not pretentious, and the country just seems like an introvert's dream. Yeah, and that was, I guess, the main push. So I wanted to learn Norwegian to get into Scandinavian languages also. I just want to be able to decode texts, you know, and Norwegians have a good reputation for understanding all the other Scandinavian languages pretty well. Also, just the language itself is very intriguing to me. It sounds a little bit mystical almost. The way it's written is really interesting. Like it apparently has many similarities with German, but not at first sight, I would say. So I was just like, it's interesting. I want to know what it's about, and I want to know how difficult it is for me to learn as well. And then when one of my literature professors said that he thinks Norway has the most beautiful literature of all the Scandinavian countries, I was like, I'm sold. I think that's all the main reasons, and that makes me appreciate actually Germanic languages even more. I'll talk about that a little bit later because I really have to go now, but it has like opened new doors of appreciation for German and English for me. It's really beautiful. Okay. I've been not eating enough vegetables this week, but jeg elsker grønnsaker. Det veldig viktig å spise sunt. So I'm back home. It's almost 9 o'clock, and yeah, I had a very lovely lesson. We played memory and we listened to a Norwegian song and translated the lyrics. It was nice. Something I thought about when I was going home is that learning Norwegian really makes me appreciate the English language as a Germanic language. When I first heard that English is classified a Germanic language, I was like, what? No way. English has nothing to do with, German, for example. But in Norwegian, I kind of see how they have all been one at some point or something. See, I've not seen the similarities between German and English before. I'm sorry, but to me, those are completely different languages that barely share the same vocabulary. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice to appreciate that. But I'm very tired now. I need to eat something. Somehow after those Norwegian lessons, I'm always so extremely hungry. It's so funny because I used to work at a job that was very physical, and I was up all day walking around, lifting things, and I didn't eat as much as I'm eating now, sitting all day. I think something about studying just feels like it's burning so many calories. It's exhausting in a way to make all these new connections. So yeah, I always eat a lot when I get out of these courses. So yeah, I'm not gonna do much anymore today. I really need to sleep. So it's Friday today, and I just got done filming a video, and I'm gonna go to Vienna again because I'm spending the weekend with a friend of mine, and we're gonna go to a concert, and yeah, it's gonna be very nice. What's also exciting though is that I found someone on a secondhand website who is selling Norwegian books. Actually not even selling, she's just giving them away for free. She has 10 or 15 books in Norwegian, partly translated, partly originally Norwegian or Danish. And yeah, I texted her. I was like, hey, can I have them? And she's like, yeah, sure, just come pick them up. So I'm super happy about that because I've wanted to get a book, at least a book in Norwegian for a while now, because I want to practice by reading, an actual book, not just practice texts that are about well, very basic things. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go there and pick those up. Yeah, I'll show you once I got them. And yeah, I'm probably not gonna do much on the weekend for Norwegian, which is fine. I mean, I do have an exam next week, so you know, but yeah, I just need a couple of days off. And the last thing I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just record a voice message for a colleague of mine who's also studying Norwegian with me. And we have that afspraak agreement that we send each other a voice message every week, reading one of the texts in our textbooks and explaining some vocabulary to each other just to practice our speaking and our listening. And yeah, I'm gonna do that now so I don't have to do it on the weekend, and I'm probably gonna then listen to it again and hang up some laundry, and that's gonna be it for Norwegian for this week for me. Oh yeah, one last thing. I got such a lovely email from a Norwegian viewer. She lives in Oslo, and she reached out to me saying that, you know, if I have any questions about learning Norwegian, I could contact her. And I asked her for book recommendations. I'm gonna put her recommendation on the screen here because it's just amazing how much time she took to write all this, and I'm so thankful. And I don't know, to me it's truly the coolest thing ever that I feel like I can crowdsource information now with the people that are watching my channel. And it makes me so happy, and everyone who sends me an email is so incredibly kind. And yeah, I love that. And I'm also so happy that there's at least one person from Norway watching my videos. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for your continued support.
Hallo, ich hole mir die Norwegisch-Bücher ab.
Super! Klemmer hverandre means to hug each other. Min elskede means my love or my darling. Gifter seg means to marry. Skyfri himmel is a cloudless sky. Vanligvis means usually. So the text I'm gonna read is called I begravelse. At the funeral. And it's funny how, you know, we haven't learned numbers yet, for example, but we are learning philosophical thoughts on life and death, you know? Just the way I like it. Døden alltid vanskelig. I alle kulturer og alle samfunn. Snakker man mye om døden I Norge? Hva synes du? Jeg tror at døden for mange mennesker I Norge et litt tabu. Tabu vil si noe det vanskelig å snakke om. Hello, full disclosure, it's more than a week later, and I have just realized that I never properly rounded off this video. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'll show you the books I got and just give you a few last bits of information that are relevant, I think, to the way that I'm learning Norwegian at the moment. I've gotten really sick the past days, and I basically haven't eaten for 3 days because I had this stomach bug that was really not pretty. But I'm feeling a bit better today, so I'll show you the books. Okay, this is actually not ideal. So I'll quickly go through them. This is 2 dagen, 2 natter from Per Olof Sundman, and as far as I know, this is originally in Swedish. Here we have Herman Hesse's Siddhartha, translated into Norwegian, which that might be a good one to start with, as I know the story already, and I have the German version, so I can, you know, cross-compare. This is funny. This is John Steinbeck, Om mus og menn. So the Norwegian version of Mice and Men. Bjørgvik, Snart er det høst. This is another John Steinbeck, Natt uten måne. Here we have an Henrik Ibsen play. I'm very excited about that. Vildanden. So I think Henrik Ibsen lived at the time when Danish was still the official language in Norway as well. So as far as I understand, he is Norwegian but wrote in Danish. So yeah, but you know, written, those languages are really similar, if not the same. I was sitting next to a girl in my Norwegian class that is also learning Danish, and I asked her how Norwegian compares to Danish, and she said, well, it's written, it's basically the same, it's just that the pronunciation is very different. So for example, the word leiligheten, which means the apartment, in Norwegian you say it like that, right? You say leiligheten. In Danish you just say leilighed, but you write it exactly the same. So she's like, Danish people just always have this like something in their throat that prevents them from pronouncing the second half of the word. So yeah, I thought that was really funny. Yeah, here we have Jan Kjærstad Homo Phalus. No idea, never heard about it. Harper Lee, Drep ikke en sangfugl. I think this is To Kill a Mockingbird in Norwegian. This is Elskeren, then Margaret Duras. I think this is originally in French. Yeah, this is actually one that I thought about reading because this, yeah, I flipped through the first pages and it seems somewhat accessible. And here's the last one from Hans Lyngby Jepsen, Lisa og andre noveller. Yeah, so, you know, a nice mix of books that I know and don't know. I'm just happy to have something to flip through. That's great. And just 2 little last details that I wanted to mention on learning Norwegian is that I often try to learn the language through music. So I listen to songs I really like and then I write down the lyrics and play them myself on the piano, sing them. Like that's a really, to me, fun and deep way to get into a language. I've done it here, for example, with Helvegen by, yeah, okay, this is by Varduna. So I write down the lyrics and the chords if I can find them, and then I sing it myself and I look up the vocabulary. I don't know, that's really lovely. And then one last thing I do is that I have a really lovely friend in Norway. He lives in Trondheim actually, and he regularly sends me like voice messages where he speaks either in bokmål, so the Norwegian that I'm learning, or in his local dialect, Trøndialekt. And yeah, that just also really helps me to get acquainted with the different ways of pronouncing things, the different local dialects, and it's just a really fun and light-hearted way to learn the language. So,
And now for my local dialect, the Trondheim dialect, or as we call it in Norway, trønderdialekt. I forhold til at du har snakket norsk så kort tid, eller drev og lærte ganske kort. Jeg kommer fra Norge, i tilfelle du ikke visste fra før av.
I think what I've been trying to say with these last points is that I'm trying to do enough activities that are somewhat connected to the language, but that aren't necessarily tied to uni or tied to any sort of pressure on delivering or anything. Yeah, and I mean, I think that is it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear about them. If you are from Norway or you do speak Norwegian, I mean, I will be double happy to hear from you. Yeah, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.